It's a story almost too unbelievable to be true, if not for these disturbing photos the FBI released of the homemade cinder block cell a Seattle woman was held captive in for hours.
The woman fought for her life, beating the doors and the walls of this cell with bloodied hands.
Authorities say the woman was working as a prostitute on Aurora Avenue when 29-year-old Nagasi Zubari claimed to be an undercover police officer and showed the victim a badge, telling her he needed to take her into custody to be processed. Court documents say he also pointed a black and yellow taser and placed her in handcuffs and leg irons, then took her more than 450 miles away to his home in Klamath Falls, Oregon, sexually assaulting her along the roughly 8-hour drive. The woman was placed in a cell in the garage made of cinder blocks and a metal door installed in reverse so it could not be opened from the inside.
Because of her ability and her survival mindset, this was a screen door. She punched it several times to break the welds, ripped the screen down, and she crawled through a small space to get out of that place because she knew something bad was going to happen to her.
Breaking free and flagging down a driver to call 911. Authorities found the home, questioned Zubari's wife, and eventually tracked Zubari down the next day in Reno, Nevada, where he was taken into custody after a 45-minute standoff in a busy shopping center parking lot.
There is escalation of violence and intent, and so we are concerned that if we work backwards, we're going to find, unfortunately, numerous victims.
A case now coming to light thanks to the determination of one woman.
If she didn't do what she did, we wouldn't be here today, and Mrs. Zubari would not be in custody. So I want to personally thank her for her bravery and what she did to get through that ordeal.
And right now, Zubari is only charged with interstate kidnapping, and it's unclear if anybody else, including his wife, might also be charged. Authorities say he does go by a few other aliases, including Sakima, Justin Haichi, and Justin Kawashi, and we're told he's been known to drug his victims' drinks in addition to impersonating a law enforcement officer. Reporting live in Seattle, Leanne Wynn, Komo News.
I shake the spot for a couple of days, and this is what I come back to. Quite a turn of events. All bullshit aside, situations like these are a stark reminder that beyond all the smoke and mirrors, glitz and glam, it's a dark side to this shit. There's certain risks and dangers associated with the game that are damn near unavoidable. This being said, if you choose to partake, it's imperative you move accordingly. And even when you seemingly do everything right, shit could still go terribly wrong, as indicated by this particular incident. So here we have a certified weirdo, right? Posing as a trick to get the young lady in the whip, who then proceeds to impersonate the police to subdue her. Now, it's easy to see how such a chain of events could catch somebody off guard in the moment. As unfortunate as this situation is, it can serve as a teachable moment for those who choose to partake and those considering it. The key to survival out there, and life in general, situational awareness. The practice of paying close attention to detail is invaluable and can mean the difference between life and death. So look, regardless of what comes out of the individual's mouth, their body language, gestures, and micro expressions will always give them away. And as you already know, you always have to be ready for shit to go left. This is something you have to anticipate. Even when it doesn't, you have to maintain that state of mind. It's about self-preservation. In addition to this, you have to mentally prepare yourself that any event shit does go left, it's gonna be a fight to the death. Harsh as this may sound, it's the reality. In the back of your mind, you know this. Failing to maintain this mindset can result in an outcome worse than death even. This being said, if you get in a car with somebody and they claim to be law enforcement and they ain't accompanied by a group of motherfuckers bum rushing you, that's a major red flag. But again, as I said, it's easy to see how somebody could be caught off guard in the heat of the moment, especially when they're scared witless because somebody has a weapon pointed at them. In the same token, this is where tools like situational awareness and paying close attention to detail come into play. Another key is to not panic. Easier said than done, especially in the moment, I know. But it's critical to your survival, especially when you gotta make that split-second decision, which I'll get to in a moment. But look, your objective should be to charm and disarm. Not disarm in a literal sense, not yet at least. What you're looking to do is de-escalate by fake complying in an attempt to get them to drop their guard, finessing them basically. Now, any given situation will be different for each person, but you'll know the opening when you see it if you practice situational awareness and paying close attention to detail. Granted, it's only one person, they only got 2 hands and 2 arms, so this opening will likely come when they try to subdue you. Which brings me to my next point, which is arguably the most important point. Never, under any circumstances, are you to hit that grid unarmed. It's imperative that you keep some type of weapon on you. From a little pocket knife to the keychain pepper spray, ice pick, razor blade, box cutter, whatever. You gotta keep something. The more compact and debilitating, the better. It makes no sense for you to be out there naked in that regard. Fuck what your folks talking about. Their life ain't in jeopardy out there like that. Yours, on the other hand, is. Now, when the opening presents itself, you gotta be ready and willing to utilize that tool. Now, bear in mind, proximity is everything. The closer they are, the more effective you can be. And as I said, initially, you want to act like you're complying with their demands. It's when they try and subdue you, you shy away and ball up. 12 times out of 10, they're going to think you just balling up out of fear. Whole time, you just trying to get a firm grip on one of them tools I just spoke of. If it's something sharp, go for the throat, eyes, or groin. Rapid jabs. If it's the pepper spray or bear mace, empty that whole canister up their nose. Might get a little blowback from it, but better that than the alternative for sure. Once they incapacitated, make your escape. Also, it wouldn't hurt to act out certain situations and scenarios to build muscle memory. You see what can happen out there. Keep your head on a swivel and your eyes on the prize, and be prepared for any unforeseen circumstance that might arise. In a minute.